Hey guys, it's Robert Powers. Today I've got a couple of older pairs here of Allen Edmonds that really need to be cleaned up really badly. But other than just doing the full cleanup on them and nourishing the leather and all that, I actually want to also show you what I look for. In other words, what's good, what is kind of like beyond repair and what you should avoid, okay? So first thing that I'm usually going to look for an older pair of shoes, and this may sound odd, but it's the brand, okay? So first of all, if you can see here, right, these are Allen Edmonds, and it's not a brand thing such as, for example, oh, these are Gucci shoes, I want to be seen in Gucci. You put these shoes on, you can't tell that they're an Allen Edmonds, okay? But the reason I say that that's important is if you know a certain brand and the time frame. Now, I know that Allen Edmonds are made from full grain calf skin leather. They're made from a good material, okay? And then usually when you get to really know shoes, you can approximate, what time frame they were produced in, okay? So what that's going to give me a good hint of is what kind of materials, the shoe is actually made from. So like I said, the brand is not for the brand's sake, but so that's going to tell me, what kind of quality shoe that I'm dealing with. I'm going to give you an example. I don't know if you can actually really see it here, but this is we can see it right there. This is a Florsheim shoe, okay? This is a Florsheim Imperial, but I'm going to give you an example. I already tore this apart here, okay? It is a Goodyear welted shoe with a double oak sole. If you don't know what that means, I've got other shoe videos to explain the basics. I'll put a link below. But with this shoe in particular, the reason this one is kind of like beyond repair, do you see right there? The leather condition, okay? It's cracked. So that's one of the second things I'm going to look for. You see, because at first sight you may see this shoe, and they both look kind of wrinkled and dirty and dingy. This one to me is very well worth pursuing, shining up, and this one is not. And that simply is because the leather is cracked. There's nothing you can do about that. Well, I mean, maybe with some leather experts, but for all intents and purposes, this is, in my books, beyond repair, okay? So once we've established that it's a decent brand, so that gives us an idea of the materials it's made from, and then the condition of it, I'm going to look the shoe over. And usually the first places you're going to see cracks, this area is called the vamp of the shoe, and the shoes flex through here where obviously, where your ball or your foot flexes. So that's the first place I'm going to look for splits and cracks. This is called the welt. That's another place where sometimes they will crack. Then I'm going to turn the shoe over and look, to see if it's worth pursuing because of the wear on the soles and heels. So you can see the tread pattern here. Excuse me. This Allen Edmonds shoe does happen to come with a rubber sole. And you can see there is some wear on the heel. So that's to be noted, but nothing terrible here. So this first pair of shoes here, by the way, this model is called the Granby, okay? And I think this would qualify as an Algonquin toe, right? It's got a moccasin toe with a split toe. I think this is also called a Norwegian toe, but anyway, I think its proper name is an Algonquin toe. So it's a Dêrby, a little more casual dress shoe. And here we've got a pair of Byrons. And this would be a quarter brogue. The holes here, the big hole, two little holes. So that's called broguing when it's only across the toe cap. This would be called a quarter brogue. You see there's no broguing here. It is an Oxford. So this shoe, compared to the Dêrby with the open flaps, this is more formal. If you took the broguing off, then this would be a cap toe Oxford, and that would be more formal. Okay, so this is a really cool shoe because of the color, the brown color here, and because of the little bit of broguing, it makes it a little bit less formal than formal. And we can see the sole is in good condition, actually really good condition. But if you know anything about Allen Edmonds, you know that they always have the logo right here across the sole. So, but what this tells me, though, is this shoe has been resoled, but whoever cobbled this did a full resole. If you don't know the difference between a full resole and a half resole, I have another video on that. I'll link it below, okay? And you can see the Vibram heel. These do not come with Vibram heels. All Allen Edmonds shoes come with a heel that's got a V pattern in it, and then an AE. It says AE in a little box right there. So, but it's in good shape. Again, no cracking. The leather is in really good condition. It feels nice. It's still supple. Although from looking at it, I can see that the color just looks blanched. It looks like to me this shoe probably hasn't been shined in years, God knows how long. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get ready to nourish them. The first stage that I always do is nourishment and cleaning with saddle soap. If you don't know what saddle soap is, I have another video I'll link below on what saddle soap is, what's in it, and full-blown thing on how to use it. So let me get the saddle soap ready, and I'll cut back in. Okay, I've got the saddle soap ready. So this is, I should have shown you before. I can't really show you because it's in the dish, but it's kiwi, okay? I'm not saying kiwi is the best, but this is what I've been using, kiwi saddle soap. This cleans the leather, it also conditions it. It does have multiple different moisturizers. It's got carnauba wax in it. It's also got, what else is in it? I actually did a whole video on it, so I'm not gonna go into the whole thing. Glycerin is a moisturizer it's got in it. It's also got lanolin in it, and something else called PEG 100. It's made from natural oils. So this really does it's not just lip service. You need your cloth and a special brush, okay, just for this. And you get the brush wet and get a nice lather going. Oh, almost forgot. I also, first thing I want to do, conditioning shoes, is put a decent pair of shoe trees in them. And you'd be amazed, even just doing this, you'd be amazed how much better the shoes look. Okay, just from starting to straighten the vamp out, okay? And this one's not super tight. You see this? These are size 13 shoes, and I don't wear anything that big. So I'll show you what to do if you run into this where the shoe's really not quite tight enough. This is just, this isn't for, selling to somebody. I mean, this is just for working on it, just for overnight. But you can take fold up a piece of cardboard, and you can stick it in there. And what that's going to do is that's going to create a little added tension. Okay, there you go. All right. So I'll just do that on both of them here, and I'm going to get back to work. Okay, put another piece of cardboard in there. All right, and here we go. I usually just start with the left shoe to give it some kind of order. You can be pretty aggressive with this stuff. Okay, want to get down into the welt. Like I said, you can scrub pretty aggressively. Okay, it's got some antibacterial properties. And then once you do that, just take your rag here and just wipe it off. Okay, that's it. It's quick, it's easy, moisturizes the leather, especially if you have an old shoe, that hasn't been worn in a long time. May have gotten it from thrift store or something like that, like where this one doesn't look like it's been taken care of or had anything done to it. And you can also do is if you have a brush that you use for polishing shoes. You see, I'm trying to get the remainder of that saddle soap out of the welt there. Okay. Now, here's the interesting part. Let's look at just what that did to the looks of the shoe. Leather is darker. It actually seemed to take away the appearance of some of the scratches. Isn't that interesting? Okay. All right. I'll do the other shoe, and I will do these as well. So here's a before shot, and I'll do the other three shoes and I'll cut back in. Okay, I've just finished nourishing and cleaning both of them with the kiwi saddle soap. I'm done with that. And they're looking a little bit better already. Okay. All right. And the other pair here. Well, again, you can see that the leather, missed a little bit of the soap there. See, the leather's in good condition, so they definitely are going to need some more attention, so they need to be polished. Now, you can do another round, okay? You can actually do another round of nourishing here. So I'm going to use a little bit of this Kiwi leather lotion, right? Formulated to gently clean as it replenishes the oils for all finished leathers. Kiwi leather lotion keeps leather articles looking new longer and helps prevent leather from drying and cracking. Okay, so basically remove dirt, which we just did with a soft brush, shake well, and apply a small amount onto a clean soft cloth and work into the leather. Allow article to dry several minutes, then buff with a soft cloth. All right, just gonna use this old rag to apply it with. Trying to get a decently clean section here. And I'm just going to mainly concentrate this on the vamp area of the shoe. Okay, so I think it really needs it most. We'll start there, go back, a little more on. I'm going to really work it in, really rub it in, and then I'm going to go back to the rest of the shoe here. So I think you get the idea. Okay. And I'll go ahead and fast forward through this part. All right, now I've got these, what I would consider nourished. Now, by the way, I'm not saying like Kiwi leather products are the best, and I'm sure somebody's going to flame me on here, you know, and say how there's other better things. I get it. You know, I'm not a professional at this. I don't have an unlimited budget, you know, and, you know, so I'm sure there's better products out there, but you know what? This kind of stuff that you do, you're going to get 80% of the benefit, you know, from doing this kind of stuff. You're going to, you know, spend a lot more money and then, you know, get the last 20% of the benefit, I would say, from getting a better, you know, saddle soap, a better leather lotion. Okay, so let me at least point out some of the areas that I would say are like a problem area on these shoes. So I don't know if you can tell in the video, it looks here, it's like a little bit of a, I don't know how to describe it, but it looks a little bit white. It's either excess wax or the colors come off of the shoe. So you know, we're going to see how polishing with color is going to bring that back up, and I'm really confident that it will. Obviously there's almost no shine on these, you know, they're just pretty dull. So I'd say that's a one problem area on those pair. There's some pretty bad scuffing on this one. Can you see that? Try to get it the right angle. You see scuffing right in through here. And there's some pretty bad scratching right there. Okay, that's pretty blatantly obvious. There's a little bit of, I don't know what this is here. This looks like, I didn't notice that before. It's very interesting what you start to pick up just when you're polishing your shoes. And this feels like, you know, I bet I know what this is. This may have been from when these shoes were cobbled. This feels like rubber cement to me, or contact cement. See, it's coming off. So I think that was just like rubber cement or contact cement from when these shoes were cobbled. So I think that's going to come off with no damage there. I'll get the rest of that off. Yep, that did it. And this shoe has some scuffing there. That's not horrible. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do next, what I'm going to color these with, and with I would like to use Saphir. I believe it is by far the best, you know, shoe polish. But I don't actually have this exact color. So, but I you know, I'm going to go with what I do have, light brown, number 3, light brown. Now this is a cream polish. It's a very soft consistency, okay? This is a lot of pigment and nourishment in it, and I'm gonna do multiple layers. This is gonna be the first one, so let me get my polishing cloth that I want to use. And this is just an old t-shirt. I found the old t-shirts, you know, to work really well. You can tell that I've used it to polish a lot of shoes, so I don't have to find a clean spot. I can find a tan spot or a clean spot. I'm just going to use this tan spot from the same color before. Wrap it around your fingers. If I can show this, let's see if I can show this a little bit. So you just wrap it around your fingers, okay? First two fingers. Twist around the wrist once, twice, okay? Then lock it on a finger. You know, you could go to, you know, finger over here if you need it to be a little tighter, okay? And then tighten that up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this stuff is very soft. I'm gonna try to show you just a little dab. Okay, but it's pretty soft. Again, I'm gonna start with the left shoe. Now it's interesting, I don't know if you can, I didn't point this out. There's an area here where it's lighter in color, almost like I don't know if the color's been scuffed off of the shoe, so we'll see how that's gonna turn out. So I'm gonna be pretty liberal with this stuff. Now the color I'm using is actually lighter than the shoe, and that's okay. All right, so it may be a little less effective though at covering up scuffs and gouges, you know, and to be honest with you, I should have removed the shoelaces in the very beginning. So I apologize about that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video. I'll go to the, you know, the time lapse. I don't think you necessarily need to see me removing shoes or just polishing a shoe. Okay. Okay, got a good solid coat of polish on them, and for the you know, the darker shoes here, the Oxblood Burgundy shoes, I'm using the Saphir Medal d'Or, again the same cream polish. This is number 9 mahogany. For the tan ones, the light brown, I don't know if this is bourbon, light brown, I don't know. Anyway, the light brown ones here, I use the light brown. This is a little lighter than these are, but it's okay to use a lighter polish. A darker one would darken them. So next is the brush. So, and I should have prepped ahead of time. For the lighter ones, I'm going to use my lighter brush. I save this for, you know, lighter shoes, and this one for darker in general. So because I'm polishing 2 pairs, it works really well, because, you know, you do this one, then while they sit, you do the other one, and then you rotate back and forth, so one has a time for the polish to set up and the lotions to set in. Okay, so now watch what happens here just from brushing. And interesting, there's a scuff there. I'm going to try to get that out. It might require more attention. Starting to look nice. They're starting to come around. Still some scuffing, and the thicker paste wax is going to help cover that more. They're not looking too shabby. By the way, I don't know if I told you, this particular pair of Allen Edmonds was purchased for $8. This particular pair was purchased for $6. Okay. I think I'm going to, again, well, here, side by side. So I'm going to go ahead and go to time lapse. Okay, here's how they look. And now we're starting to look like a decent pair of shoes now, huh? They're not perfect. I'm going to keep working on them. Next, for the Oxblood pair, I have in here this, my Oxblood Allen Edmonds polish. I think this is going to be a little thicker. I'm going to see if this is going to cover up some of the scuffs. So I'm going to do that to these pair of shoes first. Okay, and I have actually been switching over to Saphir polishes. I don't have a medium brown, so I am going to go ahead and use this kiwi on these shoes, okay? And all the shoes I have, my own personal, either dark brown or tan, so this is kind of an in-between color. But because they're scuffed, I'm going to go ahead with a darker color because I think it's going to help cover up the scuffs a little bit. Worst case scenario, I take the polish back off. So here they are, all polished up but not buffed yet. So I did these pair first with the second layer of polish with the Allen Edmonds polish. So let me buff these out. We'll see what we got. Is it looking pretty good? I'm actually sweating from doing this. Remember these, I went over with a layer of brown. And I'm going to go ahead and use the darker brush. Oh, look at that. That's not bad. Not too bad at all. I think the brown was a good choice. Now remember, that area was really scuffed. It's practically invisible. Oops. Arm's getting tired. Okay, we're not done yet. Next, this is awesome stuff. This next I'm going to do a spit shine. Okay, so this is again Saphir Mirror Gloss. You see the key there, Mirror Gloss. This one is black, so I'm going to leave that one. I might use black on the toe caps if I want to darken it, but I'm going to start with neutral. Now, this is specifically Mirror Gloss is harder. It's specifically formulated just to spit shine toe caps, okay? I try to keep this covered. So this part, I'm only doing the hard parts. This is a spit shine. You're going to build up a Mirror Gloss just basically on the toe cap. You don't want to put it on the vamp where it creases, it'll just flake off. You can also do the heel here has a hard counter reinforcement in it, so you can do the heel as well. And the first coat is really just to cover with a fairly thick layer. So I'm building up here. I don't know if you can tell. Can you see that starting to fill over the pores? Can you see what it's doing? This is like putting clear coat on a paint job on a car. If you ever painted a car, base coat, clear coat, the base coat goes on, dries, and is basically flat and has almost no gloss when it dries. The clear coat's what gives it shine. That's a nice, good coat. Let it sit. Do the other one. And see here, it's not as defined because there's no toe cap. So I'm going to go right back to where it, just basically where I see the first crease. And I'm going to stop there. And then on the top, I can't even do this area here. Just go with that first section there before the creases. Okay. Here's the magic of a spit shine. So now these have had a little bit of time to dry. You can see that drop of water hanging there. One drop and rub. And I'm not pressing very hard. I'd say I'm pressing light to moderately. See what that's starting to do? Set it aside, drop of water, rub. Maybe a little bit of wax. It's different between the first and second shoe, believe it or not, because the second one has had a little more time to dry, so it does change it a little bit. It's just a feel thing. It's hard to articulate. Do I need more water? Do I need more wax? You know, just don't worry about it too much. Ah, it's starting to come around. You're starting to see that gloss develop. That wasn't what I wanted. Now if I'm rubbing, little tip, if I'm rubbing and I feel like there's too much wax, I can lay my hand flat and then I'll use this area of the rag where I did not apply wax. I can also go to 2 fingers because I did not put wax on the index finger. I only put wax on the tip of my, middle finger. Does that make sense? It's more speed than pressure. Okay, here we've got what I would consider the finished product. And I'm in my laundry room because a lot of the times I do these videos at night when my kids are asleep, and there's good lighting in here. So look at that. Huh? How's that? Right, can you see me waving in the gloss? Now this is not like the highest mirror gloss that I could do. I could keep going. This is about 3 to 4 coats. But the owner, I don't think is going to really, you know, be fanatical about taking care of these things, so that's as shiny as I want to go, but you gotta admit, that's pretty darn good, right? Especially, I'm going to cut back in what these things looked like when we started. And remember these. Not perfect, but not too shabby. I would wear these and be proud. Okay, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I've got other videos. I'll put some links in the description below for some of the other videos that I referenced in this one. Let me put these things side by side, I guess. There you go. If you like stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe. I just do this for fun. This isn't a living for me, you know, and I'm an amateur. And then if you hit that little bell, the notification bell, when I put a new video out, you know, you'll be notified. So thanks a lot, guys. Any comments or questions, put them below. Catch you later.